loud enough. We're not going to start the game. Do it one more time, please.
Yeah.
That was pretty pathetic. One more. Thank you.
That's better.
You guys think you can half-ass it down here? No, I'm sorry. Naniwa against Losira, not so much. 5 seconds till this game starts to load. Who's going to win right now? I'm more impressed with Naniwa's builds, but Losira's crisis management and execution is just looking too good. Here at the MLG, the champion, Naniwa against one of the greatest Zergs in the world, Losira.
A Code A champion, made it deep into Code S. Unquestionably one of the best Zergs in the entire world. And the fact that he beat Naniwa just underlines that. Puts an exclamation point behind it, bolds it.
It doesn't italicize.
No, man.
No,
Italics are terrible.
You don't bold and italicize. Who does that?
Some people actually do that.
I know, it makes me
It just
angry.
looks smudged.
It looks terrible. Now, over here in the upper left, we have Naniwa. Down here in the bottom right, we have Losira.
The map is Shakura's Plateau. They are as far away as possible. I'm so excited to see, will Naniwa do a Forge expansion? What is also interesting is, Losira, will he go hatchery first? Will he attempt that? Will he go speed first? Will he go a gasless pool first? I don't know, Tasteless.
I don't know, Artosis.
I don't know why you're bugging me about it.
Sorry, buddy. I'm just too excited. Looks like we're going to have a pylon made down here, so we'll be a fast expand build.
Yeah, very standard. Almost every protoss in the world goes Forge expansion on this map against Zerg. It's just such a tight little choke. They can easily defend anything coming at them.
The probe is moving out. Doing a little bit of scouting.
Yep. Losira right now just making his drones. No cheese quite yet. Losira, I don't think that we'll see him do any sort of cheese against the Forge expand. Sometimes you can chase out that probe and make some roaches or maybe even banelings. But Losira, I think after that game especially, he's going to feel pretty confident going into a macro game.
Well, especially after getting off to a bad start in that first game, confidence is going to be something, Losira's going to have, especially after winning that game.
Yeah.
It was a tremendous game to see. It's so exciting, I think for you and me both, Artosis, since we're based in Seoul, to see our GSL players duking it out against the rest of the world.
Yes.
It's such a treat.
It is wonderful, Tasteless. MLG, especially this time, truly an international tournament. And Losira, he has gone for a pool and gas at the same time, just a little bit more economy than the gas first. Naniwa throwing down that Nexus first that we just saw.
And he will make a Forge on 15 here. The timing of this build when you fast expand, very delicate. You miss it, by just the slightest little bit, and you're going to get overwhelmed.
That is quite true. Now, Naniwa is going to want to hide that probe before the Zerglings come out, or send another one out, because you have to try to dodge back in there and see if you can scout what Zerg is doing. If he doesn't make a hatchery, the all-in's going to be really fast if he's all-inning. And if he does, you want to see that and feel a little bit more safe. You can slow your cannons down then.
Gateway next. Now note, when you do a build like this, because the way the structures operate in Starcraft 2, you can make a tight wall in. Oftentimes, if the Zerglings do get there in time, you can actually wall this area off. In this case, he's actually going to go for a cannon first, excuse me. Now, the Zerglings are chasing the probe down. Soon, we're going to see an expansion unless, Losira decides to do an all-in, which it doesn't look like. He's saved up 300 minerals, and a hatchery goes down.
He is getting speed. He has taken his drones off of gas, Tasteless. All pretty standard.
Now, even though we know that protoss is fast expanding, it doesn't mean that we know exactly what the game plan is from him. There's a lot of different ways you could take this, and we're going to see what direction that's actually going to be in a second here. He could go for a Stargate, mass gateways, get a robo. The options are almost limitless, and Losira is well aware of that. So Losira has to read his opponent very carefully. That's why we see Overlords peeking in here. This one will do the same very shortly over in this region.
That's right. Naniwa only has one gas right now, which is a little bit peculiar. That's not what you normally see. You normally see the second gas a little bit quicker. Walling in with that Cybernetics core, leaving the probe outside. He wants to see if he can scout. There are lings that are about to be speedy, chasing that probe, so that probe actually will not make it anywhere. He's not going to get any good scouts off on Losira. That means he has to add another cannon if he wants to play safe.
Finally, the second gas is taken. Meanwhile, Protoss just continuing to crank out probes as fast as he possibly can. The same with the Zerg. The Zerg slightly ahead in supply, making a ton of drones. 5 on the way here. It's going to probably be a pretty long, drawn-out macro game.
Yeah, that definitely could be the case, Tasteless. That is what I am assuming will happen. Losira will take a third base right now, and that, of course, is a great choice. Now, will Naniwa do a timing to try to destroy that? Will he go straight up to a Stargate? Well, it doesn't look like he's actually just adding some gateways. I think we might just see some very quick gateway pressure.
Yeah, judging from the chrono boost on the warp gate here, which he's continuously doing. By the way, Losira peeking and checking for that. You know, this is the problem with putting the cybernetics core at this location, is Zerg can peek up, and of course a chrono boost is just as much of a tell as seeing your opponent's hidden structures.
You know, I think Naniwa may be gearing up for something so aggressive that it has a chance to kill this. Wait a minute, he just started +1 on that forge. This is getting really interesting because he only has 2 gas. He's getting through that warp gate as quickly as he possibly can. I guess he's just going to warp in his units outside the base.
Yep,
but
looks like it.
He's made some units inside the base, Sentry and a Stalker. He may just want to leave those at home. But, it's very, very interesting.
You know, what you were mentioning there, it's interesting for another reason, too, is because you can't destroy any of these 3 structures if you are going to do a very aggressive mass gateway build. You can't get rid of the forge that's upgrading. You get rid of this, you can't make stalkers or sentries, and if you get rid of this gateway, you can't do anything else as well.
Well, it looks like he's going to get rid of the cybernetics core, making a second, and also the robotics going up, getting his additional gases right now as well. I think that we're going to see an immortal timing, Tasteless.
It looks like it.
If I had to guess.
Call me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting that +1 attack, which goes so well with it. He's getting the 4 gates, so he's going to have a lot of units. He's getting that robotics. You know, normally if you're going to get the robotics for an observer, you're going to have more gateways. So that's what leads me to believe we'll probably see an immortal pop out relatively soon.
And no, I do believe he did see that cybernetics core over here, so he's going to be cranking out units pretty quickly here. And a robotics bay. I have never seen this build before in my entire life.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. He's just going straight up into Colossus off of 4 warp gates and just getting some upgrades as well. In fact, he's making a lot of zealots, Tasteless. So it's quite interesting. That +1 is almost done.
You know, Naniwa is such a fascinating player to watch because as I watch him, I know I'm learning. I know I'm seeing more and more of the potential with the protoss race here.
Tasteless, you want to know a secret?
Yeah.
Losira does not have a layer yet.
Oh my God.
Actually going crazy on drones and starting to make a ton of units. He's already up to 68 drones against the 56 probes of Naniwa, adding a 4th macro hatchery, getting his +1 melee, going roachling. He's got a great creep spread, and I'm actually kind of liking this because with that plus melee attack, that's something that's starting to evolve in Korea where people upgrade their Zerglings and use them a lot for counterattacks. So I'm very interested to see if he goes for that. He is just now starting his lair, and likely that's going to be primarily for roach speed.
The roaches are now moving out, and excuse me, this is not even going to be a timing attack.
No, it's not.
He's just gradually crawling across the map. Now, he might have to engage the Zerg pretty soon here because, frankly, the Zerg is going to be getting pretty big pretty quickly.
Well, he's going to have to cancel that out, I think, Tasty. So those roaches are sitting down here and being force fielded in. The Zealot's just going after them, but the Zergling's coming over, and he force fields them off. Beautiful force fields right there. Has those roaches in a pocket, but there are a lot of Zergling stasis, and they are going to surround quite a bit here. There are Zealots in there to help out, but losing some sentries, some very, very important sentries, does still have some left and has to restart that Nexus.
Well, you know, forcing the Nexus to cancel is an amazing maneuver there because the Nexus is going to be up that much later. There's going to be that much less minerals, and the Protoss may attempt to poke here. Note Losira, once again, beautiful with the creep spread. Spore crawlers, spine crawlers pushing out. He's got great map control. This is definitely his side of the map. Right now, Naniwa only controlling the upper left side of the map, but still very intimidating.
A lot more gateways are coming up for Naniwa, and you know, this is a very strange strategy that we are seeing, Tasteless. He's still making a lot of Zealots because he's spending his gas on upgrades and on Colossi. Losira, though, his macro is just getting off the hook right now, taking a 4th base even, making a ton of roaches, a ton of Zerglings, and notice he's trying. Not going to work out, though.
Not so much right now. Cannon on the way. Again. You know, I feel like Naniwa is, if he doesn't act pretty soon here with only 120 supply to the 165 right now of Losira, it's going to be a pretty sticky situation here.
Certainly is. Tasteless, a ton of units coming out for Losira. 72 drones to 67 probes, so very similar on the economy, and a Spire going up. Ooh.
Very interesting. Looks like Losira wants to cut off this part of the map over here and see if he can isolate any of these units. The Protoss can use this giant rock or this raised.
Oh, we have a Zergling counter in the natural. Tasteless just running right past Naniwa, having a hole in his defense. And at the same time, Roach is attacking, and with all those Zealots there, those aren't going to be all that useful, but he does have 3 Colossus. Beautiful force fields going up.
For the Robo facility. He can stop the Colossi production.
Meantime, Losira pushing through. The force fields are almost gone, Tasteless, and Naniwa is being peeled apart at the moment. Oh my, that is so many Roaches just running right up. Naniwa warping in a bunch of Zealots. Those are not going to be very useful against these Roaches. And the Zerglings coming as well. The Colossi don't even know what to shoot at this point. Losira just pushing forward and forward and forward. Naniwa has to keep this base, but more units swarming in. This is true Zerg from Losira.
You know, he's just... One thing I think Naniwa expected was for his opponent to try to tech up here, but Losira stayed on very low tier for a long period of time, and as you can see, the creep is continuing to be pushed forward here. Losira now moving into this expansion. I think this may be GG any second here.
Yeah, Tasteless. I mean, he's up at twice the supply. It's less than 100 against an almost max Losira. Losira has that +2 melee coming up as well, so I mean, his late game will develop fine. He's just running up this ramp. There are a lot of Colossi, but they have all been damaged already. And even though he can force you out of that ramp for a little bit, Losira has complete control of everything.
He is going to bully his way up the ramp. Here he comes. 4 Colossi here, but that's basically it as the Zerg continues to streamline in here. Protoss units are slowly melting away to the force that is Losira. And at this point in time, there's no way to recover. GG. A 2-0.
Woof. He is now in the winner bracket final, awaiting the winner of Hydra and MMA.
I cannot wait to see the results of those games as well. Look, Losira really handled that beautifully. Naniwa's builds impressed me more. You and me actually made eye contact a couple times where we were like, we just couldn't believe how good Naniwa's builds were, but
his builds were amazing, but Losira, man, his macro is insane. His timings are amazing.
He deserved the win. I love how he stayed low tier.
Yeah.
He didn't rush to a layer and be like, I don't know, I guess I need to get Overseer.
No, he's playing this new style. It's much more mobile. He's all over the place. If I guarantee you, if Naniwa had moved out and been more aggressive instead of taking a third base, there would have been a lot of counterattacks.
Exactly. All right, guys, that does it for now. We're going to be back a little bit later on. The tournament continues. Our Joseph and me are going to go on a little mandate and get some lunch. But just one more time for us and for the staff at MLG, make some noise, show some love, please, and give it up for Losira. All right, we'll be back soon. Thanks so much.